Okay, I think we're all good to go. So I'm here with Kelly. Thanks so much for being here, Kelly.
Yep.
I'll just give the viewers kind of a background of why we're doing this interview. So Kelly just accomplished something quite amazing. He was able to pass the FTMO challenge, the FTMO verification phase, and then also not only get funded, but also make over $5,000 his very first payout, and was able to do all of that using purely Titan X. So basically all on autopilot. Is that pretty much it?
Yeah, I mean, I would say 99%. The only that 1% is I did manually close during the FOMC
Yeah.
last month, but other than that, yeah, it's pretty much automated.
Yeah, that's amazing. That really is amazing. I know a lot of people are going to be asking, what were your settings? And I guess just real briefly, if you want to just talk about that. We're not going to go into detail, obviously, right now, like exactly what all the settings were, but if you could just kind of give us a general idea of what settings you used, I know a lot of people would really appreciate that.
Yeah, and again, full disclaimer, my settings are not necessarily going to work for you guys, but in general, a lot of my settings are based off of the FTMO Blueprint. The only differences is really that I use different pairs, and the news filters the FTMO Blueprint doesn't really use a news filter to pass, but I enabled that, and that helped quite a bit.
Yeah.
Now, how did I come to these conclusion to these pairs, right? Is like I mentioned before in the last video, and kind of what I posted in the Discord channel, which you can see in the pins, is basically I looked at the volatility of different pairs and just plugged in those, picked out those like 9 pairs, and kind of forward tested which ones didn't break and which ones were profitable, and kind of just eliminated one by one.
Were you looking for in terms of volatility, ones that were lower volatility?
No, I was specifically looking for low volatility.
Gotcha. I'm actually trying to pull up right now, but yeah, I do remember in Discord you and I think we had pinned it as well, but you just kind of posted a list of a few points that you had found really helpful. And by the way, you mentioned that the news filter is not enabled as part of the default FTMO Blueprint settings.
Yeah.
I think we're definitely going to add that. We're always looking for feedback. We're looking for what's working, and that seems to be consistent across the board. People are just finding that, at least with the FTMO Blueprint strategy, that it works even better with the news settings enabled. So
yeah.
You can definitely add that. But that's really good advice too, coming from you. So yeah, I see here that you've oh, I guess you didn't list the exact pairs, but I see here that you said you try to avoid Euro JPY.
Yep.
And then you try to limit CAD pairs as well, in general.
Yeah. The EJ Euro Yen is definitely the one that is most you should definitely avoid. If I was to give a pair, definitely don't choose that one.
Yeah,
because that's the one, as far as what I've observed in both the Facebook group and the Discord channel, whenever something bad hits the fan, that is always the pair that is
the culprit. Yeah.
EJ, and then and then the pound yen. I know, Joe, you posted a link from MyFX book that kind of pulls in the volatility
yes,
on a more updated basis. So people can actually use that as well, because I think the data is essentially from there.
I can post that below this video. Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be extremely helpful. But if you look at the trend now, like in the image that I sent before, and I want to give props to whoever pulled that up, but Euro Yen was not that volatile at that time frame, but if you look at it now, it's definitely has gotten way more volatile, and it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice about the MyFX book one is that it's in real time, so you can see like most recently on whatever time frame what the volatility is, and then you can actually sort like from least to most volatile. And
Yep.
so like gold, for example, is always the most volatile.
Yep.
DJ is up there as well, and then the least volatile is usually like your Euro USD or whatever.
Yep.
So yeah, cool, really helpful tips there. Now I did want to ask you, now that you're funded, you've already managed to make over $5,000 since being funded, which is awesome. Do you have a different post-funded strategy than you used to pass the challenge, or are you just continuing to use the same settings?
I do not use any settings that's different.
Okay.
The reason why is because, well, I guess there is, I cap it at about 7 to 7.5%. That's my monthly goal.
Okay.
Because that's kind of, throughout trying to pass the challenge, right? The forward testing, because I've been forward testing this essentially for a year.
Yeah.
And that's usually the upper range for my settings.
Gotcha.
And so, but I, I don't change anything because I'm confident that, it won't break the bank because I've seen it for so many months.
Right.
Again, this is all depending on how risk adverse you are. Some people, again, they rather reduce it just to make sure that they don't blow their account.
Right.
But for me, it's like I just continue to use the same settings.
Yeah. That's awesome. And I think I think that's like you said, you could just target maybe 1% instead of 7%. You are just to make sure that you hit it. But sounds like like you said, you're a little more you have a bigger risk appetite, and so that's okay with you. And of course, if for whatever reason 1 month it got more volatile and you happen to lose the account, you can always just rinse and repeat and do it again and continue withdrawals that way too. So I think that's something too that's important to realize is losing a funded account is not the end of the world. You can absolutely just milk it until you can't anymore, and then you just rinse and repeat again, almost like a farmer. I think that's something we could make a thing, like being a prop firm farmer. Just farming profits for as long as you can.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is you're farming, and then at the same time, I mean the prop firm is a way to farm, I guess, or farm money.
Yeah.
And use that money to pay for another challenge, right? And while that challenge is being worked on, the funded challenges keeps providing the base, for it, and you just keep going.
Exactly. That's actually a strategy that, so I was telling you before the call, and just for the viewers watching, we're about to make some really exciting updates to the FTMO Blueprint. Some different strategies we've been working on with gold. So besides the FX pairs that Kelly's been trading with, we also have a gold strategy that we're going to be releasing, all with back tested data, all data driven. So we're really excited about it. The numbers are looking really good. We've already managed to have a member who helped us develop these settings. Actually, he was already able to pass the challenge, both a trial and a live challenge using these settings. So anyways, that's what we're finding as far as a risk management strategy once funded, is that if you can basically do exactly what you said, where while you're farming, I guess, one account, you can also be developing another account, so that when that one is no longer there, then you have another one where you can just continue to make profits, and that ends up being really profitable over the long term. So it's another way to kind of manage the challenge accounts.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you basically you had to fail a couple challenges until you finally kind of figured it out. You said FTMO Blueprint was a big part of that. So yeah, I think that's also a good thing to help people realize, is that if you failed a challenge before, it's not the end of the world. It's just it's actually can be a step forward towards finally getting to that point. And then obviously, if you're looking to pass a challenge, and you haven't already upgraded to the FTMO Blueprint, we continue to get feedback on that's been really helpful for a lot of people, especially if that's your goal. I think you gotta do it.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely recommended. I know one of the members asked if it was worth it. It was 100% worth it, because what it does, at least it gives you a baseline of what was used to pass pass a challenge in the beginning.
Right.
Again, the expectation, of course, is not, it's not 100% hit rate.
Yep.
I'm not even sure what it is, but at least you have at least a foundation. It's like, okay, these are the settings that I know would pass. Now I just have to tweak it according to my own tolerance and
yep.
Doing it, that sort of deal.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's true. I don't know anyone who passes challenges 100% of the time. Even, maybe Yuya, maybe he's the, magician. But even him, I know last year he passed 10 challenges on his own. And I think he had one where he got a free retake. But even Yuya didn't, not 100% of the time. And especially when using an EA, you got to be, you got to let the law of large numbers play out. And so,
absolutely.
Yeah.
With EA, with EA, you have to lower the expectation for that. Yuya being a more of a manual trader and kind of been in the game for a long time, is able to recognize, different structures and patterns,
yep.
to be able to pass that. And, obviously emotions. He's got the emotional aspect under control, and that is a huge role. But basically, to kind of give more advice is definitely, it took me like 7 tries to finally pass one.
Yeah.
2 of them were failed, and then the rest were all, or I should say 3 of them were failed, and then the rest, the remaining 4 was a repeat.
Yep.
So, but when you eventually get to that point where to tweak it to the point where you're confident, then it's all worth it at the end.
Yep. Yeah. And part of that too is just kind of your own, just kind of trading, trying to experiment, figuring it out. So yeah, I think, yeah, that's definitely hard, when you don't have that guidance and kind of base, like you said, which is provided in the FTMO Blueprint, which also, we, like I said, we've got some really exciting updates that are coming out with that. And with that, the gold strategy, all backed by data, all of that. And so that's going to be coming out. That's going to be really helpful too, for that psychology piece of just, having the confidence of, hey, these are my numbers, right? And as long as you know your numbers, you have a business, and that's what it's all about. So perfect. Well, thanks so much, Kelly. Really appreciate you being on, taking the time and sharing what you've learned and from your experience with the community. We always really, really appreciate that. So congrats again, Kelly. That's awesome. It's amazing. If you don't mind, I'll probably post a picture of your profit split.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just kind of let people know that FTMO is legit.
Yes.
Because looking at it, it's like, what? But yeah, they're legit. I got paid, and I hope to keep making more money with them.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have to keep us posted.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks so much again, Kelly. Congrats, and we'll be in touch.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Bye.